Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface, part of TGN. Now over the course of the weekend, I've been slightly disillusioned, well that's an understatement, very disillusioned, by changes which have been made on the Blizzard PTR. Now when patch 5.1 first came on there seemed to be some very nice ideas. Each faction had a new faction to play with. We had the Brawlers Club that was also introduced, and there was also the promise of some new scenarios, and the first one that they released seemed to be pretty decent. But since then, Blizzard have made some, what I deem, catastrophic decisions to do with this new content. First of all, the two new factions which were added, one for the Horde and one for the Alliance, initially started off giving normal amounts of rep per quest. They were also interceded with storyline questing throughout, which made the dailies more bearable as you seemed to progress and your character felt a little bit more involved. But since then, they've decided to cut the amount of rep that you get per daily quest by over 35 odd %, which suddenly makes it feel really, really grindy again, like we have with the current content. And also, it of course makes the storyline spread out a lot more, which again makes your character feel less involved. They then gave us the Brawlers Club, which is this single person one-on-one fighting against creatures, where people can come and actually watch as well. But since they've released that, they've now decided it's going to be an invitation only, and they're placing 10 invites a day on the black market auction house, which pretty much means unless you have maxed out gold, you're not going to be playing that content for a long time. Now they have said they've made a slight adjustment to that, making an invitation a rare drop from some NPCs. But as to exactly how rare that drop will be, I imagine it will be as rare as rocking horse doo-doo. So, if Blizzard have decided if we're going to have to pay with in-game currency for content, even though we pay real money on a monthly basis in a subscription format, I'm going to show you some free-to-play MMOs which I personally own and what benefits or negative aspects there are of this game, but just to try and give you some option whether or not there is something else out there that you wouldn't mind trying. Now first up, it's going to be Star Wars The Old Republic, and this is the most expensive game created, mainly because all the interaction between characters is actually through the voice. Therefore it's taken considerable cost to do that, but it does make for a massively engaging experience. However, you can automatically see where some of the costs have been cut. The character models are pretty weak, and the backgrounds and the environments are pretty basic. There seems to be a distinct lack of textures and shadings and colorings, and it does make it a little bit basic to play. But that said, the game plays to its strength, which is interaction between characters. So what I'm going to do, after I've just taken care of these couple of consoles, I'm going to let you in to a little conversation that goes on between me and my superior officer.
Nice work, kid. You've got a talent, there's no denying that. I, however, didn't have much success. This walker isn't going to be moving anytime soon.
What happens next?
I'm gonna stay here and salvage all the goodies off this wreck before someone else does. You better head for Fort Garnick. Be sure to keep a lookout for Seps on your way to the fort. They can come at you out of nowhere.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Stay sharp out there. I'll see you later.
Now as you saw from that, the interaction between myself and my superior was a lot more in depth than just saying yes sir and him barking out orders to me. You do have the ability to completely round your character. You can make your character obedient, you can make your character question orders, but you can also make your character a complete and utter dick, which I'm sure many people will. It doesn't take long before you start dinging up levels, and that wonderful graphic of leveling up does make you feel very important. And it again operates a mail system like most MMOs do. You complete quests for certain people, you might find that there's a nice little gift in your mailbox for you from them. So you feel valued as an actual player. You don't feel a piece of meat, you don't feel like a number, and you do feel as if there's some genuine character progression going on, but none more so than when you enter these green little self instances. And these start to evolve your storyline, and the storyline within Star Wars is the most important thing in the game itself. It's not just a simple couple of quests like it is on the World of Warcraft. It is extensive. And a storyline which begins from literally level 1 will carry you through to around level 30 to 35, and then give you another storyline after that to follow on, which is more in line with what faction you're with, whether it is the Republic or the Empire. But it's not too long before you start seeing things like this. You get cock-blocked at every opportunity. You want a reward for that quest? Then you've got to subscribe. Customizing your gear is also a key feature within this game too. If you're lucky, you might find yourself with some pieces of armour that you can actually add upgrades to, and there are these workbenches scattered around the game, although their true usage is not really known, as it doesn't matter where you are in the world, all you have to do is control and right click and open up this interaction armour with either a piece of weaponry or a piece of armour itself, fit in the upgrade, and voila, your gear becomes more powerful, allowing you to keep certain styles should you wish to do so. In fact, you can even upgrade your armour depending on the trade skill that you decide to pick up. You'll have the ability to craft various upgrades for both your weapons and your armour, and that way you can increase them. The higher your trade skill, the higher the upgrade. But you hit level 10 and this message flashes full on inside your screen. Free-to-play players begin gaining reduced experience and valor points at level 10. Now, yes, free-to-play games make their money through microtransactions, and that's their business model. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. It's just how you go about it which is the problem. Other games decide to go for a very touchy-feely method to try and get the money from your wallet or purse. What they'll do is they'll dangle plenty of carrots in front of you and see if they can tempt you into purchasing items, whether it be in locked storage boxes or certain elements like that. But with Star Wars The Old Republic, they have gone for a very nasty, vindictive manner in which they try and highlight that you are playing the game for free. If you want to have a title on your character, you pay for it. You want to get proper levels of experience, you pay for it. You find certain rare items in different areas, whether it be in the game's own in-game dungeon system or just around the world. You can't equip them or use them to upgrade armour or weaponry unless you're subscribed. It hammers home constantly this effect. In actual fact, you can't choose all the trade skills unless you pay to open them. Now sure, they want to get some money off of you, but when it becomes really obtrusive in your gameplay, and then when it suddenly starts to affect your gameplay, that's just nasty, that's just mean. In actual fact, I'm in one of the 2-man dungeons that you could get called Flashpoints. I found an elite item, I upgraded my weapon with it, but now I can no longer use my weapon. I have this red flashing symbol on my screen. If I want to reuse my weapon, I have to remove that item completely, and because I destroyed an item while equipping it, my weapon is now less effective than it was a few minutes ago. That is just cruel. That is just absolutely unnecessary. In actual fact, it only gets worse and worse the higher levels that you progress in the game. And if only they could decide to be a little bit more respectful and a little bit nicer, considering that you are still playing the game, you are still making a decision on whether or not you wish to part with your cash, instead of hitting you over the head with a sledgehammer from the very moment that you log on, might affect whether somebody stays on this game for a long period of time or decides to sack it off before you know it. There is plenty to like about this game. Hit level 15 or so, you're given your own spaceship, which has its distinct look depending on what class you decided to pick. You can then fly around the galaxy as much as you please, and you'll be fortunate enough to pick up companions along the way, which will join your ship, help you out in the missions, and are as customizable as you are as a player. You can actually use your spaceship to engage in space battles that I'm doing now that get you, first of all, experience, and then secondly, gear and equipment to upgrade your spaceship, to make it more powerful, to make it stronger. And they are really, really good fun to play and easy to maneuver your character. All you have to do to gain the most out of this game is just try and forget that BioWare are trying to pickpocket you at every opportunity, and when you say stop it, then they start to spit in your face. If only they decided to add the microtransactions in a more vanity approach, so you can purchase armors which make you look really cool without affecting your stats, but can still be upgraded. If you can get really cool looking mounts and pets, instead of putting it in areas which affect your gameplay, because that only makes BioWare and EA look very resentful as a company because they've had to convert it into a free-to-play model. But I will get into the fiscal ramifications about free-to-play games a little bit later on in the week. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to see your comments below. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook. I will be back with some more stuff very soon. Take care everybody. Bye bye.